So, is the immigration process different for LGBTQ plus couples? Hi, I'm Attorney Megan Pastrana, and my firm, Immigration for Couples, is dedicated exclusively to helping couples across the nation and across the world in navigating the U.S. immigration process. If you haven't already done so, you'll want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe because I regularly post updated content on this channel. I also invite you on over to our Facebook page, Immigration for Couples. I do host weekly live immigration attorney chats where I will answer your questions live. And I have a free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com, tons of free downloadable guides, and a relationship evidence guide as well. All right, so let's dive into the topic. Is the immigration process for LGBTQ plus couples different than it is for other couples? The laws around immigration cases for fiancé and spouse visa will be the same. The standard is the same. You have to prove that you have a bona fide relationship, which is a fancy way of saying you have to prove that you have a relationship based on love and not just to receive an immigration benefit. So that standard and the process is exactly the same for LGBTQ plus couples. Where it becomes more complex and a little bit more nuanced is that the other laws of other countries that don't allow for same-sex marriage or social discrimination that occurs in some parts of the world can make the immigration process a little bit more complex or a little bit more of a labyrinth for our LGBTQ plus couples to navigate. And so some of the things that we see regularly would be the inability, for example, of that couple to marry, as I have just mentioned. And so if you are in a country that does not recognize same-sex marriage, then you can look at options at getting married in another country. And then another option is something called a virtual marriage. So there's a virtual marriage that's allowed by the state of Utah, and we've helped many couples still be able to go through a process to be legally married so they can begin the spouse visa process. In some cases, we help couples go through a fiancé visa process so they don't have to worry about navigating that marriage piece of the puzzle. And so for same-sex couples, the immigration process, if you're going through a spouse or fiancé visa, there are still options for you, even if your country of origin, your country of birth doesn't allow for same-sex marriages. So that's one piece that is a little bit more different or a little bit another hurdle rather for LGBTQ plus couples. But there is a solution. That is the good news. And those are just a few of the ways that we help couples to navigate that, looking at other countries where you can get married, maybe even getting married in the United States or by a virtual marriage, as I mentioned. But the point is knowing that there's still options available for you, and we can still definitely help you navigate that process. Another thing that is much more rare, but it is very important, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, is that the immigration interview, if you are to face any kind of discrimination in your immigration interview, I want you to be equipped with and understand what are your rights and what can you do if you are in your immigration interview and you are being treated differently because you are an LGBTQ plus couple. So if in your interview you are being discriminated against or being asked inappropriate questions or being poorly treated, that is not allowed. You are to be treated with respect and with dignity, and if that were to occur, you have the right to stop that interview and ask to speak with a supervisory officer. If you are attending that interview with an immigration attorney, he or she would be able to advocate on your behalf and step in and stop that behavior and request a supervisory officer. You can also, if you were to attend your interview without an immigration attorney and ask for a supervisory officer and stop that interview, you can ask to be able to come back to that interview to be scheduled at another date and bring an immigration attorney with you. So I want you to be aware of your rights on that front because you are to be treated the same with dignity and respect in your immigration process, and that should not happen at your immigration interview where you are disrespected or treated differently. If you'd like to learn more about the immigration process, I invite you to check out our free resource page at immigrationforcouples.com. Thanks for watching.